Hey traders, I am sitting in this failed auction trade live. You can see my position here. And I'm going to share with you how I found this trade and then let you watch me scale out of the position, take profits, and just kind of see how it plays out live. So first things first, looks like it might be coming down to my first target. Let's see, does it grab it? Does it grab it?
Order filled.
All right, there we go. So from there, I'll let it kind of start making its way down to my final position here. But the reason I found it, or the way I found it, was my favorite A+ setup that I will take 10 out of 10 times. It's a liquidity sweep plus failed auction. So you can check out my other videos on more detailed description of what a failed auction is. But basically the first 60 minutes of trading, the first 60 minutes of the New York Open session is the initial balance high and the initial balance low. So it's that range. And oftentimes, price action will stay within that range. So you can take two different kinds of trades off of it. You can take a failed auction, which would be like where it kind of breaks outside of the range and then closes back within the range, which is what I took today, and I'll explain that here in a minute. Or you can take a trend continuation trade. So if it breaks outside of that initial balance, it retests it and continues the trend, that would be a trend continuation. So today, we had a classic liquidity sweep plus failed auction, meaning it came up and grabbed this liquidity over here, which was the overnight high for the Asia session, and then it quickly dropped back below and it closed within the initial balance. So this white line right here was the high of the first 60 minutes of trading. So technically, a 30-minute candle closure within the initial balance is a failed auction. But I'll zoom out to the 30-minute time frame. If I had waited for this 30-minute candle to close, you can see it would have been all the way down here. My entry would have been at like 23,566. I would have missed so much of that position. So I often will anticipate the trade. You can see here on the 5-minute, which is what I typically trade from, we had this nice tail on the top of that 5-minute. That showed that we rejected the Asia high, but I didn't enter until this second 5-minute candle, just for a couple reasons. We were trending up, so I was going against the trend, but my stop loss was able to be small. It was only a 17-point stop loss, so I was able to get into a pretty decent position size and then anticipate that we were going to have a failed auction, and it worked out nicely. So this was my entry up here. You can see I did scale out my first part down here at 548 because this is an area, a couple reasons for it. One is the gray shaded area means it's a higher time frame, high volume node, which means it's a higher time frame area of support and resistance. I use volume profile to find that. So lots of volume was traded in this 23,550 area. It was also a really big resistance yesterday, which makes me think it could be support for today. And you can see it's already bouncing off of that level. So I did take some profits there, but we are sitting below VWAP. So this darker blue line is the session VWAP, which anchors at the session open during the Asia session, Globex. And then this light blue one is the New York anchored VWAP. So we broke below both of those, and as of now, we're holding below both of those. So I did take some profits down here. My ultimate target I have set down here at initial balance low. I kind of feel like we might need to have some news to actually bring us all the way down there, so it might not hit that target. It might end up hitting my trailing stop loss, but I'm going to put my trailing stop loss right here at 23,582. Because if it starts to break back up above VWAP, then I think that we'll end up bouncing. So let's go ahead and trail this down to 23,582. And let's see. See if we get some continuation down or if it ends up hitting my trailing stop loss. It came right up to that session VWAP and rejected a little bit on that last 5-minute candle, but it's bouncing up again, coming really close to my stop loss. One thing that I am considering here is if it actually continues to reject from VWAP and sellers show up with a little bit of volume, we would have an opportunity to add to our position here, and then I could trail my stop loss to this upper wick at 579. So let's wait and see if we actually get some selling pressure here. My hesitation in it and the reason I'm being patient is it did bounce off of this really strong level of 23,550, and I'm not sure if it's actually going to continue down below that. This could be where we bounce, and we could be continuing higher from here.
Order filled.
All right, ended up stopping me out. Good trade. Made $1,400 on that trade. And hopefully that helped you guys see how I find my liquidity sweeps plus failed auction trades. Take care, you guys. Have a good one.